Welcome to Gonti, Lord of Luxury. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, we've got no lands in the hand. It doesn't sound that exciting. Let's go ahead and mulligan on. Other than that, I kind of like what we've got going on. We have Bajuka Bog, we have Urborg, Fleshbag Mar. Yeah, I kind of like this. Voyager Staff. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. Don't really want to go past 6. Hopefully we get a good scry off this one, and then we get some good stuff going. And yeah, best of luck to our opponent. And the Swamp, yeah, let's go ahead and put that on top. I want to make sure that we have just enough mana to go for Gonti. All right, opponents on the play. We're going to let them do their thing. We're playing Gonti, Lord of Luxury, Death Touch. Whenever Gonti enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library. Then put one of those cards, exile one of those cards, put the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. Then we may spend our manas or any color to cast that spell. Let's go ahead and get down Swamp. Let's go ahead and go for Voyager Staff. And if we can help it, I'd like to hold on to Bajuka Bog for as long as possible. So hopefully we can at least get into another style land. Playing against Liliana, at least I know if I've built a Liliana deck or anything that cares about creatures dying, I tend to use the graveyard. So wouldn't hurt to kind of hold on to Bajuka Bog as long as we can. But yes, we're playing Gonti. We're also playing against Liliana, Liliana Healer. Sorry about that. I tried to kind of swallow it for a second and went down the wrong pipe. Let's go ahead and get down Swamp. Anything for 2. No, we're going to go and pass the turn. Drawn to Conjurer's Claws is actually really good. That's a lot of fun with Gonti. Playing against Liliana, lifelink whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile Liliana, and then return to the battlefield transformed. If you do create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, whenever she returns to the battlefield as a planeswalker, +2, each player discards a card, -X, return target non-legendary creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield, -8, get an emblem that whenever a creature dies, returns to the battlefield under control at the beginning of the next end step. And I can say this, when you get to that -8 ultimate on Liliana, that is some... I think I've gotten to it a couple times, and typically my opponent always scoops, but I've had a couple opponents kind of play it out, and that is some fun magic. I love it. Let's go and get down Swamp. We could go for Flashback Marauder at this point. All that's going to do is simply just turn on Liliana, so I think I kind of like passing the turn. Anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, if we go for Fleshbag, that's going to make them sacrifice Heap Doll. Actually, they can still sacrifice it in response to something, so... Now, what we can do is if we want to use Voyager Staff, exile target creature, what we can do is simply just bounce Liliana so they don't get that Liliana flip. That would kind of put them in a spot where they don't really have instant speed access to something like Heap Doll to get Liliana flip turned into a Planeswalker. So we'll might try, if we can, try and leave that up. We could go for Gonti next turn, but I kind of like leaving that up, exiling Liliana to make sure she stays on the battlefield as a Planeswalker. All right, opponent's going to be swinging it for 3. That will put us down to 26. And let's see what we're drawn to. Drawn to Yahini, Undying Partisan. Let's go and get Urborg down. Yeah, I think I like that. Now, if we do get down Bajuka Bog next turn, let's say we do run into another land, we can go for Black Sun Zenith, but going for Black Sun Zenith in response to something like Heap Doll, it's going to get Liliana to flip, and they're just going to get some good card draw. So I think at this point, let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. Let's see if they crack on that Heap Doll. We'll be able to exile Liliana and keep her from flipping, and then hopefully kind of buy us a little bit more time. But other than that, if that doesn't happen next turn, we'll get down Bajuka Bog, and then slowly start working towards Gonti and Conjurer's Closet. If you've never seen Gonti before, getting down some sort of effect like Conjurer's Closet really makes the deck really good. Even something simple as Voyager Staff. Sacrifice it, exile target creature, and then bounce it back onto the battlefield. Just getting these free enter the battlefield triggers from Gonti is one of the best ways to just really have a lot of fun with it. You know, at its core, Gonti is just a mono black good stuff deck or control, kind of whatever way you lean towards. But what makes Gonti so fun is it kind of makes your deck an extension of your opponent's deck. It really kind of allows you to do some other kind of some busted things. All right, opponent's going to pass the turn. They do have us down to 21. Let's see what drawn to. Drawn to Read the Bones. Let's go and go for... If we go for Read the Bones and we don't hit a land, we're kind of in a tough spot. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for it. Let's go ahead and go for Read the Bones. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be Scry 2, Draw 2, lose 2 life. Let's go and put Dark Petition. Let's go and put Dark Petition on the bottom, and we'll put Swamp on top of our library. Okay, let's go and get Swamp down, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Wait one more turn to go for this Voyager Staff activation to kind of get around that Liliana flip. If they don't end up going for it, then we'll just probably end up going for Gonti to see what we can kind of get into. That'll also kind of stop our opponent from pinging us for 5 each turn. All right, there we go. Let's go and go for the Voyager Staff activation on Liliana. That's going to be 1, 2. An exile target creature. That way they don't get that flip ability. Heaped all stays in the graveyard, and we're not really seeing any sort of sack out of it, at least from our opponent just yet. And that way we'll end up with at least just Sad Robot on the battlefield, and then another Liliana that has not flipped yet. That might also put us in a spot where we can go for Black Sun Zenith and kind of take care of some of these creatures, sending them back, at least sending Liliana back to the command zone. Now, as far as additions to the deck, I did make a few changes to Gonti. I think this is the first time I've recorded Gonti since Dominaria released. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it might be. So some new stuff from Dominaria. We have Stronghold in here, which is the new black mana card, which kind of allows you to add mana to your mana pool for each swamp that you control. Excuse me, each basic swamp. Let me clarify on that one. What am I going to do this? So we're looking at 5 total mana. Do you want to go for Black Sun Zenith for 2? That's going to net them another card draw. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go and go for Black Sun Zenith. I think I like going for that. Opponent don't really have a whole lot going on, and that's going to allow us next turn to kind of, sequence a turn to where we get down Gonti. Maybe we can get down Conjurer's Closet first, and then start taking advantage of Gonti. Kind of playing this one a little bit slow, but I really like kind of just kind of making our opponent start playing out some stuff. They haven't really got a lot of creatures on the battlefield. So at this point right now, I just kind of like setting back and hopefully building up some of our mana base. If we can get into something like Coffers, that's going to really allow us to start kind of pumping out some of the mana. But yeah, so I added Stronghold to the deck. I also added Josu Vest, which I've been really happy about with Josu Vest. It's a really cool card, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite pet cards from the new Dominaria set. Like, you have your new favorite commanders from every new set and stuff like that. But there's always that one card that I haven't built Josu Vest, and I'm not entirely sure if I will. It's actually something I could kind of go for, like maybe a commander swap with Gonti one day or something. Oh, there we go. Drawn to Coffers. Wonderful. Talked it up. Let's go and get down Coffers. Let's go and do this. Let's go and pay 2 for each swamp that we control. That's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be 6 total mana. Let's go ahead and go for Fleshbag Marauder. I'm going to get rid of that card draw. Each player sacrifices a creature. We'll sacrifice Fleshbag. They're going to sacrifice Indulgent Tormentor. It's still going to give us 6 total mana to work with. Let's go and go for Conjurer's Closet. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. Yeah, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yep, there we go. Now we're in a pretty good spot. We took care of our opponent's card draw. We took care of Liliana, kind of putting them in a weird spot to where they had to sequence certain things. Couldn't get it to flip into a Planeswalker. Now we have Conjurer's Closet down. We can go for Gonti and actually have a ton of mana. And in fact, if we want to, we can actually get down Strionic Resonator and get a copy of some of those triggers. In fact, let's go ahead and go for that. Let's go ahead and go for Coffer's Activation. That's going to be 1, 2. It's going to be 6 total mana. Actually... yeah, let's go ahead and go for Bajuka Bog, and we're going to go ahead and exile our opponent's graveyard. That way we'll get an extra mana because it will enter the battlefield as a swamp. All right, let's go ahead and go for Coffer's Activation. That's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be 7 total mana. Let's go for Strionic Resonator. And then let's go ahead and go for Gonti. Actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Thran Dynamo. We'll get down Thran Dynamo, tap for 1 more black, tap out for Gonti. And that'll give us just enough mana to go for the Strionic Resonator activation. All right, we're going to be able to look at the top 3 cards of our library. Let's go ahead and target Gonti's ability. And we're going to go ahead and pay 2 on that one. There we go. Make a copy of that Gonti trigger. That way we're going to look, yes, same targets on that one. Look at the top 4 cards of our opponent's library. See what we want to grab off this one. Yeah, let's go and grab Sudden Spoiling. Yeah, let's go and grab Exsanguinate. We're actually in a pretty good spot where we can make some pretty good mana. And we also have our very own Exsanguinate too. Anything else? No, let's go ahead and pass turn. It's going to be 1 more mana. Let's make sure that Gonti does go to the exile zone instead of the command zone. There we go. And then we're going to go and pass the turn. That's going to give us an additional Gonti flip on this one once it enters the battlefield with Conjurer's Closet. And then once we have a little bit more mana, we'll actually be able to start going for that Resonator at the beginning of our instep too. Okay, Sword of Feast and Famine, Tricks from Black and Green, Vampire Hexmage. Let's go and go for Sword of Feast and I guess an argument could be made for Animate Dead on Fleshbag. Yeah, let's go and go for that. We have more than enough mana to recast it, and then having Animate Dead on Fleshbag will kind of allow us to start pushing through some stuff. It is funny, though, playing Gonti against a mono black deck, because typically when you're playing Gonti, you're really excited to kind of start stealing some stuff that you normally don't get to play with in a black deck, but... it's like these are pretty much the exact same cards that we, a lot of these cards that we do run in here. All right, opponent's going to go from under the floorboards, getting those zombies onto the battlefield. So it's going to make this Fleshbag Marauder not that good. All right, see what we draw to. Drawn to Argyl's Bloodfast. Now, if we go for Sudden Spoiling, that's something that we can do in response to that Liliana trigger. And let's do this. Let's go and go for Worst Fears. Let's go and tap out for coffers. It's going to be 1-2. Tap out for Bojuka Bog. It's going to be 7 total mana. Let's go and go for Worst Fears targeting our opponent. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And tap out for one more. We're going to be able to control them during the next turn, take control of them, and then at the end of our turn, we'll have that Stronic Resonator to kind of go for. Do we want to get down Argle's Bloodfast? Now, let's just go and pass the turn. We can still leave up Sudden Spoiling and go for that Resonator. But I said, sure, take our bad hand. Yeah, that's one of the downsides to Worst Fears sometimes. All right, let's go to get that Exile off Gonti. Have Gonti enter the battlefield again. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And let's go ahead and go for the Resonator activation off Gonti. That's going to be 1-2. Tap out for 3 and Dynamo. That way we'll still be online for Sudden Spoiling. I'm going to use same targets on this one. All right, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into our opponent's library, see what they've got to offer for Gonti for his Black Friday. Yeah, Swamp. Just going to grab a Swamp off that one. Not the best. And let's see what the next flip is going to be. Let's go ahead and grab Ratchet Bomb, I think, because if we're going to be able to get down Ratchet Bomb, that's going to allow us to take care of some of those zombie tokens. So we're going to go and take Ratchet Bomb. Click OK. Let's see what we draw into. That's going to be Tragic Slip, Faith Renewal, and then Noxious Gear Hulk. Okay. Let's go and get this popped down. Let's go to let's go to our opponent's main phase. Is there any certain way we want to sequence this one? We are looking at 6 total mana. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for. I want to get rid of some of these creatures in our opponent's hand. What's the best way to use this? Let's go for Sidisi. I think I like that. Let's go for Sidisi. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have Sidisi enter the battlefield. And let's go and exploit on Liliana. And we'll have, actually, we could technically, let's make sure we're doing this right. There we go. So with the exploit trigger, yes, we're going to sacrifice Liliana. Choose this. It's going to send Liliana back to the command zone, and that will turn us online for Tragic Slip. So let's go ahead and search our library up for another Swamp. There we go. Put that trigger on the stack. Let's go for Tragic Slip on Sidisi. That's going to be 1 black mana. And let's go and search up a Swamp on this one. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Actually, yeah, we're just going to click no on that one. And then, excuse me, I thought, oh, okay. With Tragic Slip, I was thinking that it would work with Tragic Slip, but since Liliana went back to the command zone, it technically didn't count as a creature dying, so that's why that Tragic Slip didn't work. Okay, let's go and get down Homeward Path. Let's go and go for Argle's Bloodfast. It's going to be 1, 2. And is there any, do we want to tap out for a big Sanguinate or something? Let's go and get the Ratchet Bomb down, now that I think about it. Yeah, let's go Coffers. Tap up for Swamp. Let's go for Ratchet Bomb. And let's go and sacrifice it to take care of some of those zombies. And let's go ahead and go for Argle's Bloodfast. Let's go and get down Yahini. And then is there any certain way we want to see it? Let's go ahead and push in on this one. We can still go ahead and use Sudden Spoiling if we want to. We'll go and go for 1 Argle's Bloodfast acting Dark Butcher. Okay, let's go and push it on this one. It's going to be 2-3 and a 2-2. Yeah, we should have sequenced it to where we got down to Yahini first and went for that Ratchet Bomb. Sorry about that one. That's some bad sequencing on our part. That would have been a few extra counters on this one. All right, so we're going to be swinging in for a 2-3 and a 2-2 at our opponent. Let's go and go for that Sudden Spoiling. It's going to be double black. Tap out for 1 more Bojuka Bog. Going to take care of Sidisi, get an additional +1 counter on there, and then we're still going to be able to bounce Gonti at the end of range. So yeah, we're good. We're going to go and let's go and choose Gonti on this one, and let's go and go for that. We have nothing else that we really need to do, so let's still go ahead and go for that Strionic Resonator activation. Choosing Gonti's trigger. It's going to be 1, 2. And then shout out to our opponent. This has been a lot of, at least time-consuming stuff on our part, trying to get some of this done, so I really do appreciate that from our opponent. Merciless Executioner. Let's go ahead and go for Merciless Execution. It's going to keep us online for any sort of spot removal. And let's see what else. It's going to be another card. Let's go and go for Expedition Map. All right, there we go. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, once again, like I said, shout out to our opponent for kind of sticking this one out. You know, when you have a lot of laborious clicking and stuff to do, as you can tell, we're sitting at 14 minutes. Our opponent is sitting at 20 minutes. So we've had to unfortunately chew up a little bit more of the clock than our opponent has. And always appreciate it. Opponent's going to get down Whispering one. Bringing each player sacrifices a creature. Is there anything that we can do in response to that? No. We'll go ahead and take care of Do we need to let just Gonti go back to the command zone? Yeah, that's fine. Let's go and let Gonti go back. We do have Animate Dead. Yeah, let's go and send Gonti back to the command zone. I mean, excuse me, back to the graveyard instead of the command zone. Let's go and sacrifice Gonti. And then let's go into our main phase. Let's go and get that swamp down. Let's go ahead and go for Animate Dead on Gonti. That's going to be 1-2. Let's go ahead and bring back Gonti. Let's go ahead and go for, do you want to go for the throat? Destroy, yeah, we'll go for the throat. That's pretty good on that one. Let's go ahead and go for Merciless Executioner. It's going to be 1-2 and then 3. Each player sacrifices a creature. We'll go and sacrifice Merciless Executioner. It's going to take care of Whispering One. We're going to get an additional counter on Yahini. It's going to be a 4-4, and then anything else is going to swing in for our opponent. So we are looking at least 4 coming across. It's going to put them down to 33, and then we can slowly start working towards that Exsanguinate out of our hand. Let's go and get on Expedition Map. That way we can draw into coffers. There we go. Let's go for that Homeward Path. And then we've already made the lane drop for the turn, getting a swamp down. All right, anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We'll go for that Strionic Resonator again, exiling Gonti. And make sure, yeah, it's going to go to exile, not command zone. Okay, let's go and go for Strionic Resonator activation. Copying Gonti's ability. I'm going to use same targets on this one. Let's go ahead and go for Massacre Worm. That way, in case our opponent gets some sort of board state developed, and then him to Turok, let's go ahead and go for Blood Gift Demon. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, Blood Gift Demon would be good. And then nothing else on that Animate Dead trigger. All right, we do have one more mana floating. Let's go ahead and go for... No, we're going to leave it up just in case we need coffers for some reason. Then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Okay, opponent's going to go for Foul Renewal. Return target creature card from your graveyard. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is that toughness of the card. That's going to be Whispering One. Anything that we want to do in response to that? Yeah, that's fine. We can actually tap out for Argos Bloodfast and get some really good card draw going. And it also puts us in a spot where we can go for Exsanguinate too, to kind of get a little bit ahead on life total. And we'll see if we can't tap out for something pretty good on that one. All right, opponent's going to go for Night Howler. Let's go and tap coffers down. That's going to be 1-2 for each swamp that we control. It's going to be 9 total mana. It's going to go for Expedition Map activation. It's going to be 1-2. Let's go and grab that Stronghold. Get this popped out just there we go. Grab Stronghold, and that's going to go into the hand. Let's go and go for an Argos Bloodfast activation. It's going to be 1-2. Draw into Erebos, which is kind of like a replacement effect for Argos. It's going to be 1-2. And we do get into this weird spot where we could almost get Argos Bloodfast to flip on this one, thus getting our life total this low down. All right, drawn to another swamp. Okay, and let's see if our opponent has anything else to do for the turn. Pretty much what our game plan is next turn is to get down Stronghold, tap out for a really big Exsanguinate, and then still kind of keep going for those Argos Bloodfast activations. Let's go and get down Stronghold. Let's go and go for Coffers activation for each swamp that we control. It's going to be Bajuka Bog, and tap out for one more swamp. Let's go and go for the activation off Stronghold. It's going to be 12 total mana. And let's go and go for that Exsanguinate out of our opponent's hand. Okay, so we're going to have Exsanguinate for 18. That's going to give us a little bit more, a little bit of an extra time off that one. Let's go and go for Hero's Downfall on Night Howler. It's going to be 1-2-3. That's going to give us an additional counter on Yahini. That's going to be a 5-5. And then we can start pushing in on that one. Put an additional counter on there. Let's go and swing in for 5. Putting our opponent down to 10, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Unfortunately, when our opponent did go for the... no, we're not going to use that ability. We don't want to exile Yahini. Yahini's perfectly fine on the battlefield. Unfortunately, when our opponent went for that Foul Renewal, returning Whispering One back to the hand, I forgot that Gonti was set up to go to the graveyard instead of the command zone. So Gonti's back in our graveyard now. So we'll see what we can do on this one. Opponent's going to get down Whispering One. What we can do, is there any way we can flash in a creature, do anything in response to that? Unfortunately, with us being tapped out on this mana, with Go for the Throat in the hand, we will be able to take care of Whispering One, but still going to get that trigger during our upkeep. We still have Noxious Gearhulk to go for. We can destroy target creature. We'll still gain that toughness, though. And then, yeah, there's nothing that we can flash in. We could try to rip into a few more cards if we wanted to, but I think either way, it's just going to go ahead and take care of it. Let's go ahead and go for the Throat, though, on Whispering One. No, let's leave it up for Noxious Gearhulk. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. All right, we're going to sacrifice Yahini. There we go. And let's see what we draw into Drawn to Warrant Power Stone. Let's go ahead and go for Noxious Gear Hulk. That's going to be us tapping out for coffers for each swamp, Bajuka Bog, and then one more swamp. It's going to be 10 total mana. Let's go and go for Noxious Gear Hulk. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to take care of Whispering One. Yes, we're going to use that ability. It's going to take care of them. Let's go and get the swamp down. Let's go ahead and go for... Let's go and get down Blood Gift Demon. That way we can get a little bit of additional card draw going. And that way if we do start working towards our devotion with something like Great Merchant, that can really get some good stuff going. Let's go and tap out for Warrant Power Stone. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And the fun thing about Conjurer's Closet and Noxious Gear Hulk is that we can actually keep bouncing that back onto the battlefield. All right, let's go ahead and go for this. Let's go and get down Erebos. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's go and tap out for each swamp that we control. Let's get down Erebos. It's still going to give us 2 more to go for. And let's go and go for 1 more Bloodfast activation. All right, drawn to Viscera Seer. All right, anything else? We're going to go and pass. Actually, we're going to get down Viscera Seer. That way still leaves us online for Go for the Throat. All right, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So, we've got a pretty good board state going. Is there anything that we want to bounce on this one? Yeah, we'll just choose Erebos. Not going to use that ability. And we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. So our opponent is sitting at 10. We're looking at least 15, 16 points of damage coming across. Depending on what our opponent gets out there, we do have Massacre Worm to kind of clean up any sort of little creatures on the battlefield. And we also still have Go for the Throat. If something does happen to where they get some creatures out there, we can use Resonator in Conjurer's Closet to kind of clean it up. Make sure, opponent's going to go for Damnation. That's going to be indestructible on that. We'll see how much devotion we've got. Let's do this. Let's go for some Scrying in response to that. Let's go and sacrifice Noxious Gear Hulk. Let's go and send that to the graveyard, get the Scrying going. And what we can do with Argos Bloodfast is we can draw an additional card. So see what we can scry into. We'll go for that activation. Let's go and sacrifice Blood Gift Demon. Yeah, I think we like Grave Titan on this one. Let's go and pay 2 life to draw a card. Draw into that Grave Titan, and then we'll go and sacrifice Viscera Seer to its own ability. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And that's going to be Whispering One. Yeah, actually, it's pretty good. We'll put that on top of our library. That'll be a good way for us to kind of bounce back from that. All right. And then also, once we get down a few more devotions, it's actually going to go and turn on Erebos too. Let's go and tap out for coffers. It's going to be 1, 2. Let's go for Whispering One. Have that enter the battlefield. Let's go and go for Grave Titan. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 off the Worn Power Stone. Get 2 more zombies going. That does turn on Erebos for that Devotion 5. Let's go and push in with Erebos. Coming across on this one. And another really good Devotion option would be Massacre Worm. So like I said, if we do draw into something like Great Merchant, that's another thing that we can go for to kind of help us close it out. But hopefully, we've kind of exhausted a lot of our opponent's resources. And it's been a pretty good back and forth match. We could start ripping through our library to find something like Exsanguinate. But I think let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. Let's go and choose Grave Titan on this one. And that's one of the fun things about building a Gonti deck is that you can end up with a lot of extra value. And Conjurer's Closet works really well with Gonti, but at the same time, if you have a lot of enter the battlefield creatures like Grave Titan or some of our other removal creatures, you end up with a lot of value, especially if Gonti, can't get it on the battlefield or just simply bouncing Grave Titan a bunch of times really makes for a really fun match. Good game. Good game to our opponent. I really appreciate our opponent sticking this one out. It's always, we're almost 10 minutes behind on the clock, so that's always something that there's just a lot of clicking sometimes, and typically some opponents will kind of scoop it up on that one. All right, opponent's going to get a Noxious Gear Hulk. See what they're going to target on this one. And with Erebos out there, the opponents can't gain life, so they're not going to be able to gain life off of that Noxious Gear Hulk. All right, opponent's going to go for Whispering One as a last-minute kind of ditch on that one. And the funny thing about us having Go for the Throat is that Noxious Gear Hulk is an artifact creature, so wouldn't be able to take care of it on that one. But our opponent scoops it up. You can see they're going to go for Whispering One, but we still have Grave Titan and a bunch of zombies kind of swinging across on that one. Unfortunately, we did send Gonti back to the graveyard earlier in the game, but as you can tell, once you get to the spots where you've got coffers on the battlefield, you got Herbor, you can just basically start making a ton of mana. Something like Conjurer's Closet really allows you to really start digging deeper into your library, and it also helps kind of stealing an Exsanguinate from your opponent to kind of make up for some of those Bloodfast triggers. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.